Really? Steak for Christmas? What kind of joke is this? Even on a festive occasion like Christmas, this woman never misses an opportunity to belittle my husband, Ethan, and me. I've graced this house with my presence, along with Joshua. The least you could do is say thank you and serve some prime steak, you know? Rachel, you really? Oh, come on. You guys probably haven't even had prime steak before, have you? You're just cooking class instructors after all. I couldn't take her condescending laughter anymore and finally raised my voice. Rachel, what have Ethan and I ever done to you? Me hold a grudge against you two? Don't be ridiculous. You're not even worth my time. Then why do this to us? How can you behave this way toward the parents of the man you married? My words, infused with emotion and frustration, didn't touch Rachel's heart. And then it happened. Ethan, who had been silent, grabbed a bottle of beer from the table and splashed it on Rachel. For the first time, we saw Ethan genuinely angry, which made Rachel take a pause, but not for long. Fine, have it your way. I'll tell Joshua about this, she said, making her way to exit the room with as much bravado as she entered. But the door swung open before she could leave. There's no need for that. What? The man who appeared was Joshua, and Rachel would soon face the consequences of her reckless behavior. My name is Lily Johnson, a 70-year-old who runs a modest cooking school in Boston. I have a family that consists of my husband Ethan and our son Joshua. We run the cooking class together. We're not a big name in the culinary world. We rent a room in a community center in Boston. Joshua's in-laws run a major company specializing in cultural centers, and they provide the financial backing and ingredients needed for the operation. Thanks to the support from this major company, the class has been able to continue for a long time. The instructors and local people alike enjoy building relationships through cooking. We've even started getting attendees who come from far away saying, "Yours is the only class where we can enjoy good food and good company." This makes me sincerely grateful for my life as a cooking class instructor. As for Joshua, he's now 42 and has recently been appointed to the president of the company he works for. He's a hardworking and personable individual, and his talents have not gone unnoticed. He's being groomed to take over the leadership of the company. Continuing from the previous scenario, Joshua's career and popularity didn't waver even after he became the company president. In fact, under his leadership, the company flourished, increasing its scale and asset value. During this time of Joshua's success, Ethan and I met her. One day, Joshua brought home a woman as his fiancée. Her name was Rachel. In her early 40s, just like Joshua, she was strikingly beautiful for her age, which took my breath away. However, as soon as Rachel stepped into our home, she whispered loud enough for only us to hear. "Seriously, this tiny, rundown place is Joshua's family home? This has got to be a joke." Both Ethan and I were taken aback by her sudden negative comments. Thinking it might be a misunderstanding, we escorted her into the living room. When introduced by Joshua, Rachel greeted us politely and humbly, as if her earlier comment was a lie. "What a distinguished home you have. I'm so envious. You're both so sophisticated, teaching cooking classes and all." Convinced that we must have misunderstood her earlier, we celebrated their union. They soon got married, but looking back, Rachel's charm was probably a facade to win Joshua and us over. The evidence became clear shortly after the wedding. One day, Ethan approached Rachel, who was lounging on our sofa playing mobile games. "Hey Rachel, could you help me out with something?" Rachel's response was disdainful. What? You want me to help with what? Housework?
Wait, hold on. Why are you acting like we're ordering you around?
You asked for help, didn't you? I bet it's tedious chores like cleaning or laundry. Absolutely not my thing. Ignoring Ethan, she stayed put, making a face. Rachel considered our home as her personal retreat, making Ethan and me do all the cooking and cleaning. At times, she even threw objects at us, creating daily tension. We finally asked her to stop treating our home like a vacation spot. But Rachel retorted, "What do you mean, vacation spot? You told me to feel at home, remember?"
Yes, but we didn't say you could treat us like servants. We're family after all.
Then hire a housekeeper or a homemaid. You're the ones choosing to do all these troublesome things. Stunned, Ethan and I were at a loss for words. While it's true we know about housekeepers and homemaids, they're not a feasible solution for daily needs. Above all, Rachel always seemed to think about money, as evidenced by her suggestion to hire help. It seemed like she wanted to solve everything with cash. This woman is seriously something else. Every day, I found myself sighing, wondering why Joshua ever married a woman like this. Day after day, Ethan and I would talk about what to do, but we couldn't come up with a solution on our own. We tried multiple times to get Joshua to reduce the number of days he and his wife visited, but Joshua's work schedule made it difficult to even talk. Even when we did talk, Joshua wouldn't give a clear answer. He blamed his busy work schedule and the fact that he couldn't take care of his wife because of it. Joshua had warned Rachel a few times, but she'd just play innocent and say, "Oh, my in-laws are being mean again? They're just jealous because I'm so cute, haha." That passive-aggressive attitude, along with Joshua's own indecisiveness, only fueled Rachel's bad behavior even more. And then, in the midst of this growing concern, Rachel finally crossed a line that should never be crossed. They came to visit us for Christmas. Joshua told us the day before that Rachel would be joining him, and Ethan and I were not thrilled. However, when Rachel is with Joshua, she behaves reasonably well. So we thought it would be fine. We had that hope when we greeted Joshua and Rachel. But then Rachel started acting up while Joshua was in the shower. "Excuse me? Christmas is about steak, right? What is this joke? Are you saying this is a Christmas meal?" Upon seeing the dishes we had prepared, including a gratin, Rachel started complaining. "I came here with Joshua for Christmas. You should thank us and have some prime steak ready, haha." "Rachel, you really?" "Well, you guys are just poor cooking class instructors. Maybe you've never even eaten such a thing, hahaha." Rachel broke into a condescending laugh. Even on Christmas, I couldn't believe she would act this way toward Ethan and me. Is this woman even the same species as us? And why on earth did Joshua pick someone like her? I couldn't take her ugliness anymore and blurted out, "Rachel, do you have a grudge against Ethan and me or something?" "A grudge? Don't be stupid. I have no interest in or grudges against old farts like you, haha." "Then why treat Ethan and me like this? How can you act this way towards the parents of the man you married?" I pleaded with anger and deep emotion, but it didn't reach her. "I live as I please, doing what I think is right, haha. That's all there is to it." At that moment, after her final snicker, Ethan, who had been silent and probably enduring her verbal abuse just like me, finally made his move. He grabbed a beer bottle that was on the table with the food and swiftly opened it. In the brief moment Rachel stopped laughing to take notice, Ethan poured the beer all over her, wordlessly. "What the heck, Ethan? Why'd you do that?" Startled by this sudden turn of events, Rachel snaps at Ethan. With a stern look, Ethan locks eyes with Rachel and quietly says,
"Enough. If you dislike being around us so much, then fine. Don't ever come back."
Hearing these words, I felt as though I had awoken from a trance. Meanwhile, Rachel, already fuming over the beer incident, gets even angrier. Who do you think you are? Acting all high and mighty? You think this ends without consequences? Frustrated by Rachel's lack of remorse, I couldn't help but sigh. Now, awake to Ethan's actions and words that must have spoken for my feelings, I no longer have the patience to listen to this woman. Up to now, I've put up with her because she's the wife of my precious only son Ethan. But this is the last straw.
Then show me what these consequences are, if you can.
Oh, I will. I'll tell Joshua right now. With that, Rachel storms out of the room, still carrying an air of arrogance. But then the door swings open again.
No need for that.
Huh? Rachel's eyes widen in surprise. The person entering the room is none other than Joshua. At first, we thought he had come out of the shower, but seeing that he wasn't wet or changed, we quickly realized that wasn't the case. Rachel recovers and clings to Joshua. Listen, Joshua, your parents are terrible.
What's so terrible about Dad and Mom?
They just splashed beer on me. Make them realize their mistake, Joshua. Use your influence. Taken aback by Rachel's unfiltered words, Joshua hesitates for a moment. Then, clearing his throat, he says,
I get what you're upset about, but what exactly do you expect me to do to Dad and Mom?
Interrupting, Rachel continues, That's why I said, use your power as the CEO to make them realize. Stop supporting their cooking classes or something. It seems that getting splashed with beer has caused Rachel to lose her cool, revealing her true nature. We decide to speak up. Sorry, but that's not gonna happen. What do you mean by that?
We're not just running a cooking class. Your dad, who was the previous CEO of your family's company, and his predecessor, your grandfather, have a long-standing relationship with us.
What? Yes, that's right. We've known my parents-in-law since Joshua and Rachel got married. My stepfather, who was the CEO 2 generations ago, was friends with my parents, who previously managed the cooking class. The friendship deepened because my step-grandfather also had a passion for cooking. That led to us receiving financial support and sharing the joy of cooking. With their children, the parents-in-laws, the hobby of cooking was passed on to us, along with assistants, and so it has been. Joshua knew about this, and it was because he had immense respect for our passion for cooking that he valued his relationship with his parents and us. Well, that's the gist of it.
People at the company understand your parents and Joshua's philosophy.
Which means you can't meddle with our cooking class. What a pity for you. As we said this, Ethan and I couldn't help but laugh. What are you talking about? I've never heard of this.
You've never heard? I've told you about this multiple times. You really haven't listened, have you?
At this point, even Joshua seems stunned by Rachel's audacity. Whatever. Today I learned, okay? Let's pretend I never said those things. Just a little misunderstanding, haha. Rachel immediately tried to back out when she realized she was in a bad position, but Ethan and I couldn't just let it go. Joshua approached Rachel with a stern face, seemingly understanding how we felt.
Rachel, you've been treating this place like a vacation home. You've insulted it as old and poor, and even treated my parents like servants.
Cornered by Joshua's sharp question, Rachel tried to dodge. What are you talking about? When did I ever do that? I've been here multiple times to support your parents.
No use playing dumb. I've heard from my parents. And I also heard you earlier ordering top-tier steak because our cooking was subpar.
Apparently, Joshua had pretended to take a shower, but was secretly listening to the conversation in the room. You've heard? What did you hear exactly? Your parents are just trying to frame me.
Still playing dumb? I have all the evidence you need. I've received emails detailing everything you've done, and even have audio recordings of your voice.
Faced with irrefutable evidence, Rachel was shocked but still not willing to give up. That's just my kindness. They're in their 70s. Their legs aren't what they used to be. So I thought I'd give them some exercise. Rachel was desperate, but Joshua had already seen through her.
You're truly despicable. Sorry, I can't trust a word you say anymore. I'm divorcing you.
Rachel seemed to finally get it when Joshua mentioned divorce. Oh, really? So you're saying that too, huh? Fine, then let's get a divorce. She snapped back, pointing at Joshua and shouting. But remember this, you're the one who brought up divorce, so be ready to pay up in court. Not sure what made her so confident, Rachel stormed out of the house. Later, their divorce did conclude, with a hefty settlement involved. But the kicker? Rachel was the one who had to pay, not Joshua. What? This can't be happening. Why do I have to pay? This is so unfair. She screamed in disbelief, but the reason was quite simple. Rachel had been cheating. And not just with any guys, but with men from popular clubs in Boston. According to Joshua, he discovered that Rachel had been using his credit card for significant expenses. When he tried to confront her, she dodged the conversation, forcing him to hire a private investigator. The investigator found receipts in the trash indicating Rachel's club outings were paid with Joshua's credit card. Photos even showed her at luxury hotels with multiple men. Armed with this irrefutable evidence and backed by his lawyer, Joshua won the settlement in court. Rachel, slapped with the divorce bill, arrogantly thought, I'll just ask my boyfriends to pay. I've spent plenty on them. But the old saying holds true. When the money's gone, the love's gone. Her club flings promptly dumped her when they realized she couldn't pay. So Rachel had no choice but to pay the settlement, grumbling all the way to the bank. Her life hit rock bottom, disowned by her furious parents. Recently, a friend mentioned seeing her at a soup kitchen in a Boston park. As for us and Ethan, life has turned to peaceful normalcy. Joshua seems to be enjoying his newfound freedom. Yet, we're secretly looking for a new life partner for him, hoping to see a grandchild soon. It's a win-win for us, actually. Our legs are getting a workout from all the running around.